A samurai sword can cut a human body in half with one swoop. The blade is exceptionally sharp and strong. This one, however, it's a toy. It's considered a toy because the blade is soft and it can't hold an edge. Check out that point, though. Could that do some damage? Not a toy I want in my kid's toy box. The process used to create a real samurai sword takes months. Takes months. 6 months if you want to create a masterpiece that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The swordsmith starts with what looks like a pile of rocks, special ore that he has created. He wraps it in a wet paper towel and he heats it slowly, pounding it into a red hot block of steel. Then he heats it, he pounds it out, folds it back on itself, cools it, heats it, pounds it, folds it, cools it, over and over again, until he gets that perfect moment where he adds in softer steel to create flexibility. Then he heats it, he pounds it, he folds it, cools it, heats it, pounds it, folds it, cools it, mixing in the hard and the soft steel, creating that perfect mix of strength and flexibility. Now he's ready to handcraft the samurai sword. Life does for our soul what the swordsmith does for the samurai sword. It pounds us and folds us, creating that strength and flexibility. Life lessons learned through adversity creates that strength. When I was 5 years old in 1973, my sister was 10. Her and her best friend Ashley were out at 4th grade recess. They were playing baseball. Ashley and Jolene, my sister, were up to bat. It was Ashley's turn. Here comes the pitch. It's a swing and a miss. But instead of stopping like I just did right there, Ashley spun around like a ballerina. And as she did, the bat hit Jolene, my sister, in the side of the head. The nurse called my dad. Mr. Merrill, your daughter's been in an accident on the playground. She's okay. She has a headache. She's thrown up a little bit. She probably needs to go see the doctor. 20 minutes later, we're at Dr. Baxter's office. Dr. Baxter checks her out. He decides he wants to keep her overnight, but just for observation. My dad, he had his hands full because my mom was actually in California at my other sister's house who had just had a baby. All of the responsibility of us kids fell onto him, and his daughter was in the hospital with a concussion. 4 a.m. the phone rang. A massive blood clot had formed on my sister's brain. Jolene was dead. I remember picking up my mom from the airport, going to the mortuary, walking into the room. Jolene's laying there on a table, white sheet draped over her body up to here. My mom, tears in her eyes, walked over and gently caressed Jolene's cheek. She looked so peaceful. She leaned down, kissed her on the forehead. Goodbye. 2 days later, Ashley came to the house in tears, just sobbing. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to kill her. She felt like she'd killed her best friend. The kids at school were calling her a killer, a murderer. At a time when my dad needed comforting more than ever, he found himself needing to comfort this child who had accidentally killed his little girl. It's okay. It wasn't your fault. Jolene was standing too close. How would you have felt? My dad felt like he was being pounded and folded, and pounded and folded. At a moment when maybe blame would have been the inclination, forgiveness was part of the strengthening process. No parent wants to bury a child. My dad didn't. But I remember for years to come, he expressed how that moment molded him, gave him strength, the ability to have empathy and to relate better. Would it be better if we didn't have to go through the hard times? Or would we be soft and unable to hold an edge? Like it or not, life is what it is. We're going to be heated and cooled, pounded and folded. And when we are, we have two choices. We can give up and give in, or we can step up and become stronger. So when you feel like you're being pounded and folded again, remember, you will be polished, sharpened, and you will hold an edge. Madam Toastmaster.